Hi everyone, it's Will. Now, some of you might have heard of the book The Blue Zones by Dan Buettner, and it explores a few small places around the world where living to 100 is not unusual. Daily life moves at a different pace. There's people that are walking a lot, they're spending a lot of time with friends and with family, and they remain a part of their communities well into old age. Now, when researchers studied these areas, they found something very interesting. That beyond diet and exercise, one factor kept coming up again and again, which is the people who lived the longest had a clear sense of purpose. Now, in today's video, we're going to focus on that sense of purpose and how thinking about your career path intentionally can help you build a life that feels meaningful over the long term. Now, one idea that helps reflect this is the concept of Ikigai, which roughly translates to reason for living, which was brought up in the Kindling chapter, Create Your Own Career Path, which led to an engaging dialogue between many of the cast members during this chapter, which we're going to explore further today. Now, quick note, if you are looking for a supportive community around career, relationships, and personal growth, you can check out the Grow and Thrive with Mentor Pete school community featuring the Kindling program in the description below. And as someone who is 24 years old and has gone through the program myself, it has had a huge impact on me to ultimately me working with this organization. Now, Ikigai suggests that purpose often sits at the intersection of four key areas. Now, as you watch, we're going to explore the first two of the four areas discussed in the Kindling program. Let's take a quick look at a portion of the chapter right now.
So there is, number one, probably to no surprise, a deep sense of community and family in all those areas, and a sense of belonging. Moderate, regular physical activity, engagement in spirituality or religion, and most importantly, life purpose. So what I want to talk to you about specifically is Okinawa, Japan, because their belief is if you are an artist, you are an artist for life. And it gives them this sense, like when you're 95 years old, you're like, hey, I'm still doing my thing, whatever you're doing. So there is a philosophy called Ikigai, which loosely means reason for living, purpose for life. And it's having that sense of meaning, like I'm waking up with a hop in my step because I have art to make and I have people to impact and inspire. That sense of purpose is why they live so long.
So going back to the questions, here are the first two that we're going to explore here today. What do you love and what are you good at? And by reflecting on these areas, you're going to start moving closer to where they overlap, which is where your own sense of purpose can begin to take shape. And I spent 3 weeks in Japan a few years ago, and I stayed with a host family. And one day they practice shodo, which I think is the calligraphy in Japan. And they helped me draw the Ikigai symbol using shodo. And I wish I could have found it. I was literally before this video looking all over the place to try and show it on the camera. But regardless, it is something that is very present within the Japanese culture. And it was incredibly helpful for me as I was watching the cast members go through their own 4 questions and brainstorm ways that they could make their Ikigai come to life. So starting with that first question, what do you love? If you're someone who is trying to get closer to discovering that, you might find yourself in a place where you might not know what you love, and that's completely okay. Because sometimes it can be a useful exercise to reflect on what you don't love, which will get you closer to understanding what you do. So it might seem counterintuitive, but think for a moment about things that you procrastinate in your life. For me, anything that requires detail-oriented things. It took me 2 years to create a website, and I think part of it is because I just dread all the little details that come with that. Anything numbers related, spreadsheets, those are draining for me. And moving on with that, I think it's from there you can ask yourself, well, when you decide to procrastinate on those things, what is the thing you usually end up doing instead? So for me, it usually involved something relating to speaking, having conversations with others, or coming up with ideas, fun ideas for my business. And those were the things that I naturally found myself doing when I didn't want to work on the tasks that I dreaded. So for you, it could be art, it could be coding, it could be marketing, or something entirely different. And if you can't pinpoint what you love yet, just start by asking yourself, well, what do you tend to do instead of the task that you are procrastinating on? Next comes, what are you good at? So you might not immediately know what you are good at, but if you're struggling to identify it, a helpful place to start is by asking the people closest to you what they think your biggest strengths are. You can also reflect on patterns in your life. What are the things people tend to come to you for advice? What are the tasks that others dread that you're able to handle more easily? What kinds of problems do you actually enjoy solving? For example, you might be a very empathetic person, and when you ask a family member or a close friend, they might say that one of your greatest strengths is your ability to understand others. You might also notice that you are often the person that your friends come to when they are in distress. Some people might dread having deeper conversations about life and they prefer to keep things at the surface, but you might secretly enjoy those conversations and feel energized by helping people think through those challenges. Now, when thinking about these broader questions that lead you toward Ikigai, asking yourself more of those specific follow-up questions can help you better understand each area. So by digging a little deeper, you give yourself a better chance of uncovering those answers. So I've just given you a starting place for taking that first step towards discovering your Ikigai. And do not worry if you still feel like you don't know yours yet, because I'm still figuring out mine myself. But sometimes you may find that a particular moment in your life, you are doing something where 2 of the circles intersect, 3 of the circles intersect, but maybe not all 4 of the circles intersect. And taking the time to journal and ask yourself questions like these is a great starting place for eventually bringing all 4 into alignment. Now, if you're a young adult looking to land that job, build strong relationships, improve your well-being, and be a part of a supportive community navigating the uncertainties of your late teens and early 20s, check out the Grow and Thrive with Mentor Pete school community built around the Kindling program. It's a space to learn, to grow, and to connect with others on a similar journey. More information is in the description below. Hope you all have a great day. Take care.